Dog on Fire by Terese Svoboda. Out of a storm so thick with dust, a storm so charged with first-rate pre-lightning ions that the grit flashes and the car dials fade, a storm so dark no taillight shines through, though drivers flicked on every emergency switch, out of a storm even this dust bowl state stops for, I spot my brother with a shovel. Men who shovel look alike. They all face where the wood joins the metal, or at least their glance grazes there on its way to the shovel tip. So all you see is head or hat, in this case a cap brim, most likely lettered feed and seed, if I know my brother, tilted at some unreadable angle. What I can read, while I creep the car forward, seen and not seen, is that he's not about to dig. He has dug. His shovel is now raised up. What he has dug swirls around us, me and my car creeping through all this flying grit, and him, seen just in time it takes to see where lightning now laves and leaves. Don't stop, moans the semi behind me, hauling cattle or empty, having hauled. Don't pull over, says the dust, smacking the car. How do I know it's him I've seen? Only my brother would dig beside the road in this dust, because he's a digger, and besides, the road's right next to my father's land, and along its perimeter my brother would dig in post holes for the fences that fall over in the shrinkage of winter, or sag with the swell of summer. Or else he could be digging to cover up something. Or maybe he was digging just for the hell of it. I guess that last is what he is doing, with emphasis on hell, just the way our cousin in another state was caught outside her parked vehicle, holding up her unwrapped baby to a tornado, was caught more than once. My brother has always dug too deep. The glimpse goes, is gone. But even if I pull over and park here to check it out, which I should anyway, given I can't see a damn thing, and can hear only the semi shortcutting its own way right behind me, honking now and then like a boat lost in fog, the sound a semi too close would make that could wallop right into me. Even if I do stop and park and get out and walk over to the field where he must be, he will not be there. He's dead. I tap on my brakes. I make the tapping lively, not nervous as I go along so slowly. It's really an SOS, and not a signal to my brother behind me. I push my roll-up window button again, just to hear my windows roll their clinch even tighter. I don't want to breathe his dirt in, all that grit that could be his. We're already too close. 11 months, one foot in the womb, the other in the... I tap it out. If I could Morse code a real message to him with these taps, it would be, I'm not stopping now, the way I never stopped for you before. But can there be no ifs to think about with the foghorn of the semi rattling my car? Or is that sound something else? Some other moan? Some way I bypass him that is deeper, that I can't get around at all, or hear right? The dust everywhere is so charged, the radio has gone static. This charge is my brother's fault, too, a charge he gives off even when he's behind me and dead, being someone with too much electricity in his head that will forever discharge. He had spells. All that electricity from his petite and grandma is probably still around here, so much of it probably killed him. If that isn't enough, he even attracted electricity, the raw kind that cooks. It will cook me too, its bits of lightning zapping through the dust like white knives. Or are those sparks, because I have come to where the meteor landed 100 feet off, that break it makes in my father's land, that's a giant pock, all alive, all glittery with electricity, its dirt dancing up and down on the radio waves and having a day. The land here, if it is land I'm on, is flat like the road. I'm leaning into the wheel. My arms ache, trying to lean it right and straight. At least the roads around here are straight. If I'm off the road, then that meteor hole is around here somewhere for sure, and I'll fall into it. I glimpse my father's crew-cut pasture through the dust. That is, the crew-cut that should shh my car's underside if I'm driving on the pasture, the crew-cut that disappears in another woof of dust into where I think might be the meteor hole. But then all that dust shimmies up again and takes over. No, shh. At least the semi still calls behind me. As long as I can hear it, I know I'm here on the road and not where my brother stands, so to speak, in my father's field. All of what's swirling is my brother's dirt now. I'm sure it is. His disturbance, his unquiet, his dug dirt whipping up the storm. The semi calls again, and this time real lightning answers it. About the fanciest electricity yet. A tree of it not 3 feet from my hood, hot and white at the end of the pasture, where I once again see him. He's in the same position as before, but I don't really expect him to be posed any different. He's dead, after all. It's me who should be moving. Or do I just circle him with all my straight driving? His mouth is open. What's he trying to say? The dust, the dust, the dust. He's there forever, trying to be heard. Then he's gone. I turn on the AC because of sweat, the kind that comes when all the windows are up, and so is fear. What am I afraid of? That he will take his revenge for every time I turned away from him? That what he's saying is that I will get what I deserve? I need my phone, its blank face to sweat into, some nonsense talk to take place outside of this dust and lightning blinded shortcut, the solace of company or fear shared, and not just this silly moaning semi that's obviously more lost than me, that has obviously driven way off the road and is hoping to make its way back via some answering moan before it hits the meteor hole. That is, if the driver knows about the hole and doesn't think that land is all flat here with no lessons to be learned. There are lessons to be learned, is what seeing him twice in the dust says to me. I've left the phone at home. Sweat runs into the lifelines of my palms where the dirt collects, where I grip the wheel's plastic. His lifelines are dust, I think, that kind of dirt. I flex my gritty palms. Forget about lifelines. I just want to push down on the pedal and arrive. My workplace isn't that far, just a few miles, at least when I started shortcutting down this road. If I accelerate now, I'll be there. I'll be out of this brother-ridden storm. But before I put on the gas, I honk, as if my brother will hear me and clear away. I honk back at the semi, but there's no more mourning. That's not good. A battered blue Chevy passes me. Where did that come from? With some poor dirt farmer hunched far over the wheel, not my brother. I stare into the dull screen of my side mirror and back at the road. I stare and stare. Then the semi finally passes me, one wheel at a time, with a thank God honk that shakes my car, the dirt swirling over and around us. I never think my brother might want to see me.
This audio excerpt was narrated by Terese Svoboda. Dog on Fire unfolds around a family's turmoil, past loves, and a mysterious death. To buy the book, go to nebraskapress.unl.edu or wherever else fine books are sold.